Assalamu alaikum. Welcome and welcome back to Masjid New Africa Center for Human Development's Sunday Public Address and Tiling. Today, we are going to start off with a video of Imam Warthuddin Muhammad, and then in a few minutes, or a little while, a short time later, our resident Imam, Imam Tyree, will be joining us with the rest of the tiling, inshallah. So bear with me for a few moments. Assalamu alaikum. We do apologize for the technical difficulties. If you would please be a little patient with us for about maybe 5 minutes, inshallah, we should be able to present, inshallah. Thank you again for your patience.
Assalamu alaikum. Can you hear me? Let's see. Okay, give me about 1 minute. Start. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Can you all hear me? If somebody can hear me, if you could just type in the chat that you can hear me, or give me a thumbs up or some sort of signal. Sister Latifah, are you there? We do apologize for the technical difficulties. Um, Normally we logging in at 12:30 to begin this program, um, but due to some unforeseen events, we just not getting in. So please just bear with us. Brother Moonski, I see you, brother. Yes, sir. Just making sure everybody can hear me. So we're gonna go ahead and begin. I'm gonna go ahead and open up because I don't want to take up too much time. We already extended our scheduled time, but I have to touch on these topics today, inshallah. So let us open up. We'll open up with the universal prayer. It's a chapter of the Quran we call Al-Fatiha, which means the opening. We'll recite it in Arabic, and then we'll translate it in the English. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. Ameen. And that is to say, we seek refuge with God, Allah, from Satan, the rejected enemy. And we begin with God's name, the merciful benefactor, the merciful redeemer. All praises are due to God, guardian, evolver, cherisher, sustainer, nurturer of all of the systems of knowledge. The merciful benefactor, the merciful redeemer, master of the day of judgment. He alone do we worship, and he alone do we seek help. We ask him to guide us on the straight path, the path of those on whom he has bestowed his grace, those whose portion is not wrath, and those who go not astray. And to that we say Ameen or Amen. Again, we want to welcome you to Masjid New Africa's Center for Human Development's regularly scheduled Sunday program, which is called the Public Address. Some of us know it as Ta'aleem. However, it is an opportunity for us to address the public in a manner or in a way. This is a part of our, I would say, our effort to empower, to inspire, to educate our community from our perspective as Muslims, as African American Muslims in America, but also as people of the community. You know, I always say every person is unique to the community that they come from. It's hard from somebody else that's from another community to actually have the insight as to how to deal with issues or how to go about creating solutions for problems, for challenges to communities outside of their own. Not saying that it can't be done, but it's best done by people who come from a particular community. You know why? Because these people have an attachment, they are connected, they understand the dynamic of that particular community. For instance, if I was to go to Memphis or go to North Carolina or Little Rock, Arkansas, and I've been to these places, I've been to these places on the ground in the hood, actually working with groups who are doing, phenomenal work. However, I always came in or went to those communities or to those neighborhoods or those hoods, right, as a student. I didn't go into those neighborhoods thinking that I got the formula, I got the plan or the solution. No, their dynamics are always a little different. And you have to understand what is going on within that dynamic to be able to offer some advice, if you can, to the solution. So what we do here at Masjid New Africa, this program is specifically designed for us to communicate to the community here, Galveston County, the public, and others who are tuning in from afar. Not to say that you wouldn't benefit, but some of these issues are specifically they are specific to the events or experiences of people right here in the Galveston County area. Okay, so with that, our general topic usually for this segment of our program is your community is a garden. Your community is a garden, right? And we use the community garden theme so that it connects all of us with something that we all can relate to, right? So hopefully, I pray that there's something of benefit from those of you who are watching, who are tuning in with us, that could help you, not only help you, but help you help others. That's the whole idea of it. Because even though we're living in a community garden type setting, we want to connect our faith to reality. And this is to say, it doesn't matter what your preference of faith is, whatever your religious preference is. I see you, my brother, Raymond, Isaac. Hey, I want to make this very clear. It doesn't matter what your religion is. We prepare these lectures on Sunday, particularly. They go beyond what your religious preference is. They connect to your faith, and every human being on this planet has faith. You believe in something. God did not create the human being to not believe. You believe in something, even if you believe in Satan, even if you worship the devil. You have it's impossible for you to exist as a human being without belief in something. Okay, so what we are appealing to is the fact that you have the ability to believe. We want to connect your belief, whatever that may be, to the reality that we're living in. And this is where we're going to find consensus. This is where we're going to begin to realize how much of alike that we are. Because long as you have the capacity to believe in something, right? As long as you have the capacity to believe, we want to bring to your attention the reality of the day, what's really going on in our communities. First, I want to wish everybody a happy new year. This is my first time on since the new year. This is my first time having the opportunity to present since the new year has begun. And throughout that time, since this is my first time on, I want to wish everybody a happy new year. And, I pray that the new year is prosperous for you and your family, your loved ones, as the week previously that we just experienced. 2023, as every year teaches us something new. Every year helps us to learn something new, not just about ourselves, but about our community. There's so many different dynamics at play. And if we really paying attention to how things were before, as opposed to how they are now, we should be learning some things. Now, 2023, an experience that all of us had. I'm sure almost 99% of us experienced some very, very good things, and we experienced some very, very challenging things. We've made some success. We've gained some ground, but we've also lost some things. We've lost some people, right? There's people that was here with us last year that are not here with us in this new year. So however you look at it, it's impossible for you not to look back and reflect on what was then versus what is now. And I made a post prior to the new year on my Facebook page that said to say the things to the people you need to say them to, right? Before it's too late. And this is something that I'm just reminding us to consider. Say those things to those people. You know who they are. They know who they are. Say what needs to be said to them before it's too late. Because one of the worst feelings in the world is to uh, have to bury someone or be a part of someone's homegoing and regretting the fact that you didn't say what you needed to say to them, or you wish you could have said this or given them this or told them this, etc. So that was just a bit of advice that I gave prior to the new year. After the new year, I made another post, and this is what I want to talk about for the sake of this time that we have. I know we started a little late, but we had some issues with the streaming, and we do apologize for that. Normally we start at 12:30. We usually end in around 1 or 1:15. But if you would allow me, for the sake of this time, I want to call my brothers to attention, and I want the sisters to be observant as well. But I need to call my brothers to the forefront. I need to call the brothers to the forefront. And 2023 made me reflect on some things, experiences that I've had personally, and it made me think about the condition of Black men in America, the condition of Black men in America. And I made a post that some of you may have saw, may have even interacted with, and I appreciate you commenting or responding or showing that you saw the post. And it said that there are some very painful yet powerful conversations that Black men need to have in the year 2024, right? Very painful yet powerful conversations that Black men need to have in the year of 2024. I say that first and foremost because as a Black man, right, myself, or African American man, whichever term you prefer, there are things or experiences we've had in our life that has affected us in so many ways, so many different ways, to where our response to stimuli is sometimes totally misunderstood, or it's totally inappropriate, or it could be irrelevant to the current situation. And these are based on experiences that we've had. So as human beings, we kind of start to, it's a natural tendency in human beings to gravitate to things that bring them comfort and pleasure, and to deviate from things that causes pain or harm, right? It's just a natural, innate response mechanism that we have in us. But sometimes what we may not be aware of, we may become confused. And this confusion is done by design. Many things have been set up and engineered in our society to confuse our ability to be moral and rational. And we may find ourselves gravitating to things that cause us happiness and pleasure and comfort and security that may be wrong for us. And we may be finding ourselves running from those things that we have interpreted as painful or as uncomfortable, and they may be good for us. So it's a real battle of trying to decipher what is right and wrong in today's time. It's a whole lot of gray areas, a whole lot of things in the air that's left up to an individual's decision. Now, before I continue, I want to say this, and I want you all to understand this in the best context. That, I've been jotting down notes for this book that I would say, developing for quite some time now. One of the chapters in that book that I've been putting a lot of thought into lately is a chapter called the The facts about opinions. The facts about opinions. This is one of the chapters that I've been marinating on. The facts about opinions. I'm typing this in my chat. First, an in definition is direction. If ever we seeking to understand word terminology, we have to understand what is the meaning or what is the definition of these words that we're trying to make sense of, right? So when we talk about facts versus opinions, facts are typically things that can be proven, things that are proven to be true, or I would say things that can be proven. As they've been proven, it becomes truth for us, right? It becomes the truth for us as they can become proven. However, there are some facts that are um, not truthful for everyone, and I'll explain to you why or how that is possible. Opinions are views, perspectives. Your views or perspectives on a thing that's not based on fact. That's not based on if it can be proven. It's based on what your experience is and perspective is in that matter. So the facts about opinions is that opinions are arguably arguable. Opinions are truth for you. That's your truth. That's how you see it. And opinions should be respected, right? How you see it, this is it. Because how you're seeing it is based on your life's experience. I haven't lived your life, nor have you lived my life. So my experiences is what's going to determine what my opinion about a thing will be. However, your opinions can be educated though. Your opinions can be exposed to education that'll cause you to change your opinion of a thing. Change your opinion of a thing. Now, let me tell you what the real challenge is for us in this day and time. The real challenge for us in this day and time. 20 years ago, we didn't have social media. Nothing like to the scale it is now. We didn't have social media. Social media gave us the ability to participate in the platform where we can share our opinions. This is the biggest platform where your opinion has been made internationally known. Other than that, nobody knew your particular opinions about a thing except the people who are in your immediate circle. That's it. Social media has made it possible for us to inject our opinions into a bigger realm, a bigger circle, a bigger audience of people. And then you'll find that your opinion will become criticized. Your opinion. Not only that, you have people, we tend to engage in destructive criticism, not positive criticism, but actually negative criticism when it comes to recognizing other people's opinion. Now, opinions are something that all of us are entitled to. We're all entitled to opinions. However, what social media does is it's an unchecked platform for opinions. And I guarantee you, just look at any, maybe 9 out of 10 posts that you look at and read, where a person will post something of their thought process or their opinion of something, and their opinion will become criticized, or you'll have people that agree and disagree. And it almost creates like a pick a side society. So now you have to really step back and look, because sometimes you can become so immersed in social media that you forget, or you will lose yourself so quickly in social media because the tide of opinions start to sway you. The tide of opinions start to sway you. And this is what I want us to be more conscious of as we using these social media platforms and whatnot. And I always say that these, particularly Facebook, is meant to play on your emotional vulnerabilities. These are, the way you respond on Facebook is through a particular type of response that alludes to how you feel about something. You can like it, you can love it, you can care about it, right? You can be angry about it. These are all responses, how we respond to things emotionally. And many times our opinions are the point of criticism. Opinions. For instance, I saw an article that was a Facebook a post made about a man who shot and killed another man in the barbershop. You know what the topic of discussion was? Who was the greatest out of Jordan and LeBron? Who was the greatest out of Jordan and LeBron? Big topic, big talking point. I'll put it like that. Some say Jordan is the greatest. Some will say LeBron is the greatest. These are all opinions. Remember, your opinion is based on your experience and how you perceive a particular thing or subject. This is your point of view, right? Who am I to change your point of view of a thing, right? But what happens is, well, first let me say this. The NBA has not given a GOAT award. There is no award that exists that says anybody is the GOAT. If there's a GOAT award, I haven't seen it yet. It's all opinion. And you can say, this is my opinion, and here's my facts. These are the facts of why I say Jordan is better than LeBron. Or here's my opinion and my facts why I say LeBron is better than Jordan. And we can have discussion. But the discussion shouldn't lead to the point where I become so upset and angry with you about your opinion, right? Your opinion of a thing, to where I want you to change that opinion so that I feel better about it. My opinion. This is how toxic things can become on this social media, because remember, this is the first time ever that we've been able to inject our opinions into a public format that's exposed to thousands, millions of people. So you have all these people here viewing your opinion of a thing, and then they start weighing in on whether they think your opinion is right and is wrong. So I said all that to set up the post that I made that got that, and this is just scratching the surface, that there are some painful yet powerful conversations that Black men need to have in 2024. Particularly, I'm talking about Black men, because there are so many senseless acts of violence that are happening with Black men, and it doesn't even matter the age range. It's ranging from ages 12 to 50. It used to be a certain age group. Now it doesn't surprise you anymore to hear about 12-year-olds committing crimes or acts of violence with guns and things of this nature. That's just the start of the talking point. The painful conversations that I'm thinking about in reference to myself was the fact that many of us, including me, I'm speaking first person, right? Painful conversations that we need to have is identifying traumatic experiences that we have and asking ourselves, how and why is this still affecting me? See, this grown man talk now. It's going to be some big boy stuff here. How and why is this stuff still affecting me after all this time? I've always said that we need healthy spaces to discuss traumatic experiences that we have lived through. God has blessed us, God has blessed us to live through some very challenging situations in our lives. And this is part of the reason why I'm procrastinating so much on this book, because every day I see something from an old experience that I have that makes sense to me more today than it did back then. And I want to write about it in a way where it could help provide some source of guidance for somebody coming behind me. To benefit. I want people to benefit from the bad experiences that I've had so that they don't have them. Because if I would have had a guide book, a guide post, you know, and there probably was some, but they wasn't convincing enough for me to say, hey, I need to listen to this guy. You know, it was more so like during my time when I was out there in the streets wilding, man, it was like people were very, very hesitant to approach me, you know, and I could see why, because I had another mind. I had a mind that many of you would not even recognize. So I understand the plight of today's youth so much so, and it's a particular approach. It's an approach that has to come with a type of sincerity, but finesse. Sincerity, but finesse. And even in that, because in our book in the Quran, one of my favorite chapters of the Quran that I'm beginning to learn to understand more and more as I mature as an adult man is chapter 103 of the Quran. We call it Al Asr, Al Asr, and Al Asr is translated as time. And it's just 3 verses. Very powerful chapter of the Quran. And I encourage you, if you never read a Quran before, if you want a Quran, inbox me, let me know. I'll get a Quran to you. One in English, one you understand. But there's a very powerful chapter of the Quran. It's only 3 verses. 3 verses. And the 3 verses, it says, the first verse is Wal Asr. And Wal Asr is simply God saying, he is swearing. God is swearing by his creation that he created, which is time. See, many of us probably never looked at time in the perspective of it being a created thing. But don't you know that time is created by God? Time does not operate independently. God created time just like he created oxygen, just like he created nitrogen, all these things in the environment that you cannot see. So God created these things, and they maintain a certain discipline because he created it for his creation. So this particular chapter starts off with by time. God says by time, and that by time is over long periods of time. It could be, it's not time as we understand it as on a 24-hour a day basis. It's not, it's a time more complex than that. But it's the time that encapsulates, or it contains everything in creation. Everything in creation exists within a realm of time. Nothing in creation exists outside of time except God. Well, and God is not in creation. So everything in creation exists within the context or concept of time, right? It's just a matter of time. Before that thing, whatever it is that was created, it comes into creation and then it goes out. It comes in and it goes out. But the second verse says, Innal insana lafi khusr. Innal insana lafi khusr. And it translates that surely the human being is lafi, lost, or is surely the human being is surely khusran, lost. And this loss is at loss, it's at a loss. What it's saying is that as time goes by, the intelligence of the human being will begin to wander. It will begin to drift out. And what is it drifting out from? It's drifting out from a moral compass that is necessary for the human being to be attached and connected to relationships as God created us to be. Let me say that again. It is drifting out and away from the moral compass that God has created the human being to be attached to different relationships, particularly community. Khusr. Khusr is from the word khasara in Arabic, which khasara is the example I can give you of khasara is as if you walked out into the beach. Let's say you walked out into the beach and you just walked out. And when you begin to walk out into the beach, you look back. Let's say you have a marker, an umbrella, or a beach chair or something that you see there, and you start to walk out into the beach. But the further out you go and you look back, you notice that object is kind of moving. Is it the object moving or is it you moving? Is it the object on the shore that's moving, or is it you moving? As you walk further, you see that this object is now way away from where it was before, and there's distance between you and that object. Well, that's because, for one, the current of the beach water has slowly caused you to drift, but you don't know it. You haven't noticed that you're drifting. You're walking, you're moving, you're walking in a straight line. So you think, but you're drifting. This is how the intelligence of human beings, God says, over time will become, right? So the third and final verse says, except for those, surely man is surely going to be in a state of lostness, except for those who do what? Except for those who believe. Amanu wa amilus. So those who believe and work. Believe and work. Now, for those of you, if there are some Christian brothers and sisters on the line, you have a verse in your scripture that tells you that faith without works is dead. Faith without works is dead. It's not enough for us to believe. Believing is the premises. That is the universal, the first law of nature. Belief is the first law of nature. However, after you believe, you got to put some work in. There has to be some performance now. You got to act on that. You know, it's not enough for us to say, I'm going to pray about it. You pray about it if you know you can do nothing else more. You know, it reminds me of a saying of our prophet Muhammad, prayers and peace be upon him. He says, when you see a wrong, if you see a wrong, change it with your hands. Changing it with your hands is not necessarily pointing to the fact that you do something physically to someone or to change it. Because you can't write a bill. You can't write a bill or bring a bill into existence without writing it. So there's things you can change, and there's many things that have been changed in our society by simply it being written about. Write about it. So if you see a wrong, change it with your hands. If you cannot change it with your hands, speak out against it, right? Speak out against it. Freedom of speech. Speak out against it. And if you can't speak out against it, he says, detest it in your heart. Detest it in your heart. And that is the weakest of faith. So you do have the option to just pray about it. But before you consider just that your only option, you got to try to change it with your hands. You got to speak out on it. And we 90% of the time, we have the ability to do those two things, right? It's very seldom where we're just, our hands are tied and our mouths are sealed, okay? Very few times. So what I'm saying is we have been empowered with the ability to change our reality. And God says in this Surah Al-Asr that except for those who have faith, you're going to be lost, except for those who have faith and work. And one of the beautiful things about this work, Amilus Salihat, the work is a particular type of work. It ain't just some busy work to just say you're doing something, or to just say I'm in the media, or I'm in the newspaper, or these people recognizing me, I'm getting this award from this group or this organization. It ain't the busy work. It's Salihat. Salihat. Salihat is from the word Salihat, right? And it means to make things right. It means to make things right. Salihati means to put things back in a place where they belong. Put things back in a place where they belong. So this is what God said, right? Amilus salihati wa tawassaw bil haqq wa tawassaw bis sabr, and join together in the mutual teaching. Mutual teaching. This is what we're doing right now. That's why you all are logged on here. We're having a mutual discussion about things that are the truth. And whenever the truth is being acknowledged, whenever the truth is being acknowledged, whenever the truth is being acknowledged, you have to be patient with it. Why? because other people's opinion of what's true may not be fact. You know, my approach to working with people is never to change your mind or to give you my mind. I've never been one to want you to think like me. I understand how God, Allah, created the human being. Why in the hell would I want you to think like me? Pardon my language. I don't need you to think like me. I need you to expand the way you think, because there is no limit to the space on how you think. So if you expand the way that you think, that's how you begin to reconsider your opinions of things, because now your opinions become educated. When your opinions become educated, I get it now. I didn't have enough education before. That's why I thought the way that I thought. Now that you have been imbued with education, your opinions become more informed. More informed. So, dear Black men, there are some conversations that we need to have, and we need to carve out spaces, because we don't have enough of them, that are designated for a period of time to just have serious conversation about traumas, that things that we've experienced that have not been resolved. Unresolved trauma is the biggest culprit in our lives. Unresolved trauma. And that's why people don't understand us or when we do certain things. Hell, sometimes we don't even understand ourselves when we do certain things. It is coming from a place of trauma that has yet to be addressed. It has yet to be. Why? Because me personally, we fear being criticized, or we fear being looked at a certain way. We fear being looked at as weak. We fear being looked at as vulnerable. But in the vulnerability is strength. In the vulnerability is strength. So the beautiful thing about the painful conversations, they become powerful. Now, as I conclude with this, me and one of my good Muslim brothers, may Allah bless him for his wisdom, we have some very good conversations. They're not always pleasant. You know, they sometimes there's some back and forth. You know, we debate our opinions of a certain thing. He made me realize something about us as Black men. Black men, I would say human beings, period. All human beings have a special superpower. It's not limited to any race or ethnic group. All human beings have a special superpower. And I bet you don't know what it is. It's so simple, you overlook it every day. You overlook it every day. You overlook it so much that you look to other things as a possibility, as a possible super saving, a point of saving grace for you. But God, when he created, see, the thing about God is God's wisdom is so infinite. When he created his creation, everything in it, he put everything in that created thing that it would need for the rest of his existence. God don't have to add nothing to nothing that he created. It's already in it. But we have been conditioned not to look for this in ourselves. And the more I think back about experiences while I was at my lowest point, the lowest points in my life, and I was able to rise up or be triumphant in those situations, I was utilizing a superpower that I didn't know I had. But it's not reinforced, it's not encouraged, it's not inspired for you to use this superpower, that you forget almost instantly just after you finish using it. So do anybody have any idea what superpower that I'm referring to that every human being has? This is a good one. This is a good one. And you're really gonna say to yourself, I give you a clue. This is one of the references I like to reference. This is a clue to what I'm saying. You all are familiar with the movie The Wiz. The Wiz, not the Wizard of Oz. The Wiz, the one with Diana Ross and Nipsey Russell and Michael Jackson. The Wiz, right? You know, they went through a whole trial of things to get to one destination, which was the wizard, right? Because everybody was instructing Dorothy that the wizard has the wisdom to help you get back home. Well, when they finally found the wizard, which was Richard Pryor, right? Acting, right? When they finally found that the wizard was just a man sleeping on a cot, manipulating this whole scenario of events, Dorothy felt disappointed when she found this out. However, her superpower kicked into gear. Her superpower kicked into gear. And an angel appeared before her and told her, Dorothy, you could have went home anytime you wanted to. All you had to do was believe. All you had to do was believe. Belief, the ability for us to believe, is not the superpower. It's a superpower, but it's not the superpower. Because once you believe, after that, immediately, you have to be able to make decisions. The power of choice is our superpower. Everybody has a choice. Everybody has a choice. And many times our situations be unfolding so fast that the power of choice just eludes us. Usually, you know, because we are conditioned. If you don't realize this, we are conditioned in this society, in most cases, to respond to stimuli, to respond. When you respond to stimuli in a way that is without giving thought to it, we make what's called rash decisions, right? But the power of choice takes it's a formula. You know, it's something that we have to actually put into practice, and it's a formula for us to stop, think about it. What's the best and what's the worst that can come of this if I do this or if I do that, and then these are making form. But we live in such a fast-paced society where decisions have to be made. We feel like decisions have to be made like that, quick and instantly, right? So the superpower that we all have, in these powerful conversations that brothers that I'm saying African American men need to have, is the power of choosing to want to affect change in society, and not just in society. You got to start with the society of self first. You know, this is where we have to start the society of self, and I think that we can make this happen sooner than possible if we create spaces where we can do this and have conversation that creates accountability for us, you know, creates expectations for us, and change our frame of reference from what it means to be appreciated or liked or loved in the eyes of society, as opposed to thinking that material things is what's going to make people appreciate or respect me more, you know. So this was my nugget for Black men, and I'm gonna, you know, like I said, it's brothers that I've already been in conversation with on how can we create this experience, not one experience here, because I want you to create your own experience wherever you are. You need to start with Black men or men in your circle, particularly in your family, and start to build up this rapport. You know, if we're not having lunch once a month, or we not doing something in, you know, there has to be some kind of camaraderie built in order for us to get on a track where Black men become more respectful and more compliant of other Black men. And it starts with conversation. And we have to remove, you know, my wife tells me all the time, just told me this morning, you know, we have an ego problem. Men, we do. And the ego problem hey, the ego is not a bad thing, but we have to learn how to manage our egos, especially in a room full of other men. We can't allow our egos to dictate our actions. And that's basically what I'm saying. This is what will improve the condition of black men and their relationships with other black men overnight. So once black men can understand this dynamic and how it works for us, what's next is the black youth, young youth, male youth, particularly, you know, because if we don't have camaraderie, it's difficult for us to try to find um, solutions to the rampant and ignorant behavior of many of our young black men in this country. So, with that being said, again, we apologize for the technical difficulties. Typically, or normally, we are on at 12:30, but I felt compelled to express this message. I haven't been with you all since the new year began. I wanted to share those thoughts with you, and that would be more of a framework being put out for individuals to adopt or to take it and tweak it and use it to your however your own discretion. But most importantly, we got to have spaces for black men to be able to process painful conversations, painful experiences, so that we become more powerful than the traumas or the things that have consumed us and has confined us for the most of this point of most of our lives. So with that being said, again, we thank you for your time. We pray that you have a blessed weekend. We pray that that the rest of your day is prosperous, that your family is well, that your health is in order, and we look forward to you visiting us. Go to our YouTube page and subscribe. If you're watching us on YouTube, please subscribe, like, go to our Facebook page and friend our page because we bring in quality programs to you like this every Sunday. There'll be different presenters other than myself, and you can get more information on our Facebook or our Instagram pages about activities that we have coming up for the new year. So we're excited about things that we're going to be doing in the community here at Masjid New Africa Center for Human Development. We're going to be getting involved more so in the community and in the things that are happening in our community. And we want feedback. We want feedback from you all as well as to how we can improve the services that we tend to offer. So for those of you, if we're a nonprofit organization, 501c3. We're right here in Hitchcock, Texas, 7610 Highway 6, Hitchcock, Texas. We have our mosque is there. There's our mosque. And we have our Friday Jummah services every Friday, 1:30 till about 2 p.m. every Friday. And we have our public address, which is what you're on now, from 12:30 typically to about 1:30. And we have also added our Thursday night Quranic study group. If you want to attend that, every Thursday night in the building from 6:30 to 8 p.m. We don't stream that. That's an in-house, in-person thing, and brothers and sisters are welcome to come where we have a discussion. And for those of you who would like to donate to us, we have secured donation ways you can donate to us in a secured fashion through our PayPal account. It's paypal.me/MasjidNewAfrica, or you can cash app us $ Masjid New Africa, one word, and look for our logo. The logo that you see on the screen, or this logo that you see here on the shirt, look for that logo because there are other organizations I'm told and I've seen that have this same name. And if you want to donate, we want your donation to go to us to support what we're doing, to continue bringing you quality programs as you are witnessing now. So with that, we will leave as we came. I want to end with a short dua, a short prayer. We say, oh God, we cannot manage this life. Oh God, we cannot manage this life ourselves without you. Please make of our lives what you want it to be, what you prefer it to be. Do not allow us to act on our own, but bless us to act only in obedience to your will. We hear and we obey. Forgive us. We beg your forgiveness. Ameen.
Ameen. I just wanted to say,
Assalamu alaikum. Peace be upon you. So, Sister Latifa, are you there?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Okay. Our sister is she's running it from the background. She's not here, but this concludes our program. And again, we thank you for your comments. I see my brother Talib. I see so many of you have joined on my online live. Thank you for attending. And we pray that something was said of benefit for you, of your family, someone that even if it's acquaintance that you have. If you can share some of this with them and you think it would be helpful, please do by all means. I'm not the owner of any of this. It all belongs to God, and everything that we do here is in light of pleasing God, making God, hoping God is pleased with the work that we're doing. So with that, we leave as we came. Assalamu alaikum.